Hello, hello. Hi, Mohamed. How are
Fine.
you?
Can you hear
Uh,
me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can
Okay.
hear you. I hope you can. Okay, cool. You
Yep.
can hear me. Awesome. Awesome. Wow. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank
Mine's
you.
mine too. but yours, it's amazing. Awesome.
Thank you.
Cool. So let's start with your talk. You were going to tell us about Java 9, Java 10, Java 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, with all these new features. Are you
Yes.
ready?
The most important features. Yes, I'm ready. Let's go because I have a lot to say and share with your
Cool.
amazing community. So let's dive.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, you can start sharing your screen on the
So
browser.
how can I undo it? Okay, here is share screen, Chrome tab. Can you see it?
It takes some time, but I think it's working. I think it's working fine. Awesome. All yours, Mahmoud.
Okay, great. So it's working.
It is. You can start. Feel free. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Uh, Finally, I'm very happy to join GConf Mexico, and this is for first time for me joining this amazing conference. And I wished actually that I can join face to face. This is what we used to do, but because of pandemic and this current situation, which is I wish that it will be vanish soon and we can see you next year. So I'm very glad to participate and give you my session and talk about some stuff about Java SE through 15 API and language features that really it will be very helpful in your daily working and day by day job. So thank you very much for organizers for organizing this amazing conference and have all of these attendees. I have seen like 700 something, which is very nice. We couldn't have all of this number in one room when we are physically joined, but everything has a pros and cons. So thank you very much. My name is Mohamed Taman, and I'm originally from Egypt, and I'm living in Serbia and working as a chief solutions architect for a telecommunication company called Efortel. It's based in Belgium and serving many countries to provide telecommunication services and infrastructure. So about me in a nutshell, as I told you, I'm a chief solution architect for Efortel, and I have my company, and I do training, consultancy, and a lot of other stuff related to software development, but mainly consultancy and training in the field of software development and testing, and also training about Java and microservices, all of these kind of development quality and clean code stuff, and also related to Scrum and Agile teams. So as I told you, I'm Egyptian. I'm living in Belgrade, Serbia, enjoying different culture, different cities. I'm a Java champion, Oracle Groundbreaker Ambassador, and a little bit participating in Jakarta EE. And I have hands-on experience with these kind of technologies. Also, you will find me writing a lot of blogs at Java Magazine, Oracle Magazine, InfoQ, and IBM Developer. So you can follow me and watch this kind of articles. And I have in this session, in this presentation, every single aspect that I'm speaking about or giving knowledge about, you will find a link. This link will take you to the specific article to deep dive about this feature more and more. So it will be like a cheat sheet for some specific features that we would like to know about. So to reach me, I would like to, I would be honored if when you just show me that you are following me on Twitter, because I'm tweeting a lot, and this kind of social networking, and you can also search my name on Google, and you can find all of these channels. So you are welcome at any time. So let's deep dive. Actually, what I would like to speak about today is not definitely everything about or feature or API starting from Java 9 to Java 15 or 16 and the next updated presentation. it's almost the most touchy and most productive feature that we have, because we have a lot of features, but not all of them developers can use in daily today job. So this comes from when I was doing like consultancy, reviewing code for teams, seeing people interacting with feature, or they are writing code in different way, which could be easier if they do it in different way. And we have already features that could reduce the boilerplate code that we have written. So this is, I thought about like, why not to have all of these features in one place? And also based on the questions I got from developers, I got in conferences about modularity, about how to migrate, what to do, what lessons we should be learned in order to successfully migrate from version to version. All of this, I just brought it to you here. So without going further into a lot of explanation, let's deep dive. And I would like just first to start with Java history. So why I would like to start with Java history, because one of the most important feature, it's like for all of us, not just for developers, for cloud vendors, for companies, for R&D labs, that we have Java nowadays. As you know, it's released each 6 months release cadence, which is very important for us, because if you see this this graph, you'll find like from 2006 2011, we have a very long period in order to get Java, while there is a lot of languages just running fast in order to introduce more and more features, which is coping with the new technologies and new era that and the cloud environment and vendors and everything that we have. So, but Java is #1. And the big problem with Java was the background compatibility, and not true encapsulations happened inside the JDK. This is what prevents us from really changing the code easily, because we have to take care of every single change which could affect developers, companies, and tools vendor. So this is why we were like a turtle, moving slowly. So then there is a decision we discussed a lot of times about this kind of movement, that we would like to move fast, because we don't like Java to lose the track. So since 2017, we have Java 9, and then we moved on to each 6 months, and which really approved and shows how it's very successful to bring you a small set features that you have in JDK. It's robust. We get your feedback with the preview feature, or I forget adoption modules that we have inside for APIs, and this is how we move quickly to introduce some features. So in this way, we would like, because we are running fast to introduce versions, we have to have something like, as usual, LTS version, which is long-term support, and we're going to speak about it. So this is one nice feature. The second feature, maybe I'm not going to deep dive, it's modularity. And why modularity? Because this is brought to us by Project JIGSAW from Java 9. And it becomes, we have now more first citizen, which is the module. It was the package before, now the module bundles together one or more packages and offer stronger encapsulation. I would like to emphasize on this sentence, stronger encapsulation than jars. We will see how. So what does this for us? It's allowed us to scale down runtime in jars, which is suitable for IoT, microservices, embedded systems, and cloud. So just what we'd like to include in your jar or runtime, you will have it. You will not have all the features that you don't use as a packages or modules. You just compose only the module that is specific and used by your application and just bundle it. So you have a small footprint, and you have also a small size, which is very easy to migrate and very easy to run and fire another instance if you are working on cloud and fit into IoT. Stronger means in the modules nowadays, public is no longer public anymore to others. Like this is very big problem that we had before in Java, because we have internal API like unsafe class, and it's not intended to be used by developers, but it has a lot of function which is dealing with operating system and memory directly and mapping for memory. So all the tools and all the vendors start using this class. This is intended for internal GVM use and internal API. So this is one thing that doesn't allow us to move fast, and because it should be public, and when it's public inside package mean it could be accessed from different packages. This is a design. So how we could solve one problem like this is to introduce module. So even if the package, if the class inside the package is public, and you are calling this module, you cannot access that class or package even unless you declare it in your module information .java class. This is very important. So it could, yes, it will be public, and also you can restrict the access to that class by specific module. So now I have the option to just restrict that unsafe, for example, could be used by 1, 2, 3 these packages, and that's only, nobody else could use it. So this is more stronger and stronger encapsulation. And I have written a tutorial for IBM Developer, so you can access, and you have a lot of information about the modularity, how to move, a lot of examples, and how you can develop modular system. So the goal here is, first, as I told you, modularize GDK, so it could be divided and could be shared, and also you can combine only the specific module that you want. I will give you example, but it was a static, not dynamic. In Java 8, you have 4 profile, compact profile, 1, 2, 3, and each of these has a specific size and specific memory footprint, but they are static. You cannot change them. So it suits some type of application, but not every single application. But with JIGSAW project, which is modularity, now whatever the application is, you can customize your runtime image. And it brought also modular Java source code, which we have packages and runtime images. Yes, we can now modularize our runtime and also encapsulate Java internal APIs. I told you it's more stronger encapsulation than before. And finally, it brought for us Java platform module system. So we are the author of the APIs, and programmers, we can create our own module and make use of the current system modules. So what is the tools to make it easy, for example, to migrate? This is one of the questions. And the second question I will ask this question, and I will answer it. So there is 2 questions. If we would like to use, not to migrate even, to use Java 11 or 12 or whatever it is, because we are stuck to Java 8 and we would like to move to a different GVM, we would like to work on a newer GVM, because it's not about modularity, it's about all the features that we provide, all the enhancement that we have done in GVM space, and compiler and garbage collection, and all of this kind of enhancement you are missing by stacking just to Java 8. But the people saying, and developers thought that when we should move to modularity. It's wrong concept. Modularity is out there to help you when you need it, because not every single application need to be modularized. If I'm doing microservices or a dynamic web application, why I have to modularize my services? It's already, if I would like to modularize, it's very easy for tooling vendors, something like JUnit or any kind of packages that you use in Maven, or you have shared library, you'd like to modularize it to be more secure. But for your microservices or monolith application or specific application that doesn't need this feature, you don't have to use it. You already still have the class path. You can choose between class path and module path. This is very important. So easily you can just download your new GDK. You start to test your application, what it uses, because starting from JDK 11, as you will see, we start to remove API and deprecate. So this is very important. I will tell you about this at the end of this session, so you will know about what is most important features and API and tools get removed. So you have to be aware of when you migrate. So about the migration also, if you'd like to check you can check your application again is the module that need to be used. So you can use Java with -- list modules, and you can list all the modules to see which module they would like to access and use. And also you can see if you are using some internal JDK APIs, and what is the alternative for this APIs in order to make use of the new JDK feature, because they are encapsulated and is not accessible anymore. And finally, you can say JDepreCan, what is the deprecated API that I have? What is deprecated classes, features that I have, so in order to just make use of the new features, and how I can avoid using this feature anymore when I'm using new JDK. For migration, I encourage you to read this article. So, as I told you, the new 6 months release cadence and LTS brought for us a lot of features. First, the speed of bringing new features and API to the language. And also the LTS is very important concept, because it's important for companies, not for as a developers. As developers, we can just start downloading the new JDK and also using them. But for LTS, we have a strategy to make it short. So I will not talk about the support for JDK 6, 7, and 8. 8, it's supported to 2026, and it's extended because it's one of the most adopted JDK and everyone using it. And you know that Hendrik just was talking about OpenJDK and Oracle JDK, and you can see that OpenJDK, they don't have LTS version, but it's already adopted. You can use it, and you have many vendors, even for open source, without any kind of subscription, like Amazon Query to provide LTS, same like this diagram. There is a lot of vendors like Azul, like Alibaba, Oracle definitely have these kind of long-term support subscription, but still you can get it for free. And I will show you one document for this. So the pattern is each 5 years. So for example, we have here long-term support for Java 11, and after 5 years, we have the other long-term support, which is LTS, which is Java 17. And between these two, Java 11 will be still supported 2 years more after Java 17 in order to allow the people to migrate, and then the support will be stopped. Then the support will go for more for Java 17 and goes on like this. So this is very important, because if you are working for a company and they would like to use the latest, I advise you to stick to Java LTS version. But for your R&D lab or proof of concept, you can make use, because you have to be prepared for the migration early, so you can easily, just when you have the new LTS, you already have the latest migration, you know what is happened, you fix it, then you just take the new version and deploy your application. So let's move. As I told you, Java SE 11, by the way, is the first cleaning tool for the Java jungle. How it happens? Yes, we start to remove. You know that we always in Java, we are deprecating, but just deprecation is a term that we are telling the people, don't use this feature, but it's already exists. So there is nothing will harm me from using it. Nobody will remove it. And this was really hard to start supporting such features for background compatibility. The other languages, they just release a new feature, new language version, remove the old support, and then you have to start to search how to replace for the new and go. This is how it could be fast. So we have to do it, but in a proper way, in agile way. And this is what we do. But you have to take care, because there is a lot of tools and APIs start to be deprecated and removed. This is why in deprecation API, you have a new flag called flag for removal, future removal. And usually, since we declare it will be flagged for removal, it will be, since the announcement, the second release of the Java, if we have a flag for feature to be removed in Java 12, it will take like Java 13 and 14 mostly, and will be removed in 14. So it almost takes 2 releases in order to remove that feature or tool. So what is behind the new licensing? Because people say like, a lot of people talk about this. I think Hendrik gave you about this as a hint about the license. In short, to say that Java is still free of charge. And as I told you before, there is a lot of companies adopting OpenJDK, and because they are the same, just the support will be either licensed like Oracle and some vendors, or for free like Amazon Corito, and you have the support and long-term support from this company. If you'd like to know more about this, we have written as a Java champions, we have written one document on Medium that explain all of the stuff, and we have a small table show you what is the license module and what is the free version of long-term support. So, and definitely since we have 6 months release cadence, we have new concepts. We have incubator module. This is what I forget at the beginning. And we have introduced, starting from Java 12, preview feature. So a preview feature is something like, it's a trial. It's not meant for production, the same like, but incubator module, it's just for APIs. So when we have a new API, like when we introduced it, and like the new HTTP APIs that we have introduced in Java 11, Java 9, it was inside incubator modules, mean this incubator could be removed or changed until we finally declared it to be final in production. Then it will goes into a proper package and module name specifically meant for production. So the same concept is preview feature. So you cannot use preview feature in production. If you'd like to use it, it's on your own risk, because if you are going to migrate for next version, it might be there is a changes for the feature, a new feature is going to be introduced, as we did also with string littler or a text block. We removed it and then we introduced it again with a new concept. So it's nice to have the features, and based on this also we get your feedback. It's very important, and I will show you how is your feedback is very important. So this is like the most important changes happen in the Java platform that you need to be aware of. We have removal now. We don't have deprecation anymore. We just deprecate after 2 releases. We remove. We have 6 months release cadence. We have preview features. We have incubator API features. And for more engagement and feedback and introduction for the new features, but it might not complete yet, but I would like to take your opinion. This is very good brainstorming tool in order to have many wide brains and brilliant brains inside our enhancement. So it's not only for us. We are not going to design it. You are one of the more engagement. We engage the community more and more in order to bring the feature that best suiting you, not us, because you are going to use the language. And despite this, let's deep dive to see what is the features that we would like to know about and what's new, and just only new specific features, not everything, because if you'd like to speak, I will take the whole day and even more tomorrow. Exploring new features, exploring most new important improved API, which is classes and these things. And definitely we have to know about which APIs and tools has been gone forever, so for proper migration. And now let's deep dive into it. So one thing that we have removed, it's GRE. So when you download JDK, you will never find any more since JDK 11. There is no GRE anymore. Why? So how can I run my application? Do I have to download all the JDK package? No, man. I told you that you have one of the main goal of the JIGSAW project with Modularity is to give you a tools that allows you to customize your runtime, so you can create your own runtime based on your application, so that suits your device or the environment that you're running. And we have JLink that does this. So what is JLink? JLink actually, it can be used to link a set of modules along with their transitive modules to create a custom modular runtime image for your application. So it scans your application, see what modules that you are using from JDK. So if you use like 3 modules, and these 3 modules using 2 different modules that you are not explicitly using them, the JLink will bring those in order to make your program function properly. So this is, and then combine all of the 6 module, or 3 and 5, and your is 6, and then create for those specific runtime module that suits your application. So you will find your application end up like 2 mega, 3 meg, 4 meg of the size, not 300 something to bundle all of the tools, because you don't need it, and the redundancy and more modules and APIs that it doesn't it does not need by your application. So this is how you can create your custom runtime image. It's a very, very nice tool, and literally it reduces the size of your application and also reduce the size and the scanning and everything according to class path and memory footprint. For us, because we are as a Java champions, like in the community, helping like Oracle or the people behind the developing of the JDK. We are not just Java developers or architect or so. We are coming from different space. We have teachers, we have women in industries, we have every people. So each one of us bringing his perspective, or we bringing our perspective into how to improve Java. So we need to teach people and teach a student Java easily, as different programming languages do. So we added more features, and also it suits the architect, suits developers, so to easily, quickly test some features, test some new enhancement to the JDK without going to the boilerplate, opening an IDE and trying the feature, trying to one API, or calling something like, why I have to do all of that? Just I need a command line, invoke some scripting tool, and I would like to start hacking Java. This is what I would like to do. So we definitely introduced JShell. I know that most of you know about it, and it's a very powerful tool. I use it quickly, and not much developers know about it, or they even know, but they don't use it, but it's really powerful. And I have written a really big 2 articles about this, so you can read it. So we can use it like this. You just open it and you start hacking. You don't have to have a class. You don't have to have a method. You just hack. If all the modules, basic modules, are already imported when you start, so you don't have to add more and more. You can include external libraries. You can include external modules, so you can engage and develop something, and you can save all these interpreted language statement into file. You can find all the powerful tools inside JREPL inside these 2 articles, so I encourage you to read it, so you will have a lot of information. This is very good tool, and sometimes when I have an API I would like to try it, I just started and I start to hack this API to understand how it works, and does this suitable for the solution or not. So the second, which is I love, is we brought that this feature. Remember old days, if you would like to run application like this, we create a class with the name Hello World, and the source code should be also, the file name should be Hello World, because this is specification of Java. We have public static void main, so the magic goes here, and we need to print small statement or write whatever the program is. What we should do is to compile the file first to be .class, then run the .class with Java as usual. So you have your output. But what we did really, which is very nice, is running .java with only Java. So how it does? It's out there since Java 11. So launch single file source code program. So we can run it now with Java 11. We have a new mode for the JVM to run the source file with Java quickly without compilation. And if you open in the same folder, if you open the folder that you are run from this application, you will find there is no class. So what happens? It's actually compiles the class in the memory and then run all your application. This has a limitation, but it's really very powerful tool. Why? Because if we combine this feature with SHEBANG, and which is, I will show you, we can now develop scripting files that runs exactly the same bash files, but it's written in Java. This is awesome, man. And imagine how you can, with just using Java, write scripting bash files without understanding bash even. It's only Java. And I did this for testing, for integration testing, if you'd like to run these kind of files from just the command line. And I will show you how. So there is, as I told you before, I will not speak about this anymore. Just a click here and you will find the source for more. So let's see the feature of the Java language. Since Java 10, we introduced var, and you can use var instead of declaring the very large declaration for variables. So just var the name, and the most important rule here is you have to have the the right hand side is defined. There is more in this article, and it's really it was required, but many developers so they can use it as the other languages. So also in Java 11 we did some enhancement. We brought Java var for lambda. So why in lambda, you know that we can write it like this or like this, but now we can do it like this. Like, why? It's the same like the two. So why I have to have var? Either I can use it like this one or use it like this one. So this is confusing and redundant. No, just for one case, because sometimes when we need annotations in Lambda, annotation does need types. So we could make it easy to use var here. Let's go back to talk about the SHEBANG combined with running single source files, as I told you. So if I have Java file and I would like just to run it with Java, but now I would like to convert it to be a SHEBANG file, which is something that operating system can run without understanding what is written actually. So you can just in your source code add this SHEBANG and use Java source. It should be 11 and above, and you write your application. It doesn't matter what is the name of the file and the name of the class. Why? Because it's compiled in memory. There is no class path scanning, so it doesn't matter what is the name is from the source file from the class name. And we have written this script, and if I'd like to run it, I'm going to change the mode to be executable, and the file is named dir list. It's not named directory lister, and it will run because, as I told you before, first we are going to make it executable, and we can run it like this. It's very easy, and it will run. It will scan your folder, and that's it. See how it's easy? See how you can take this and put it in your bin folder, and you can call it globally from your operating system with your bash files and source files to automate a lot of stuff. Lovely. I love it. I think that you will love it too if you get used to have it. So, okay. Another thing that we have is HTTP and WebSocket client module. This is very important and helps me a lot to start using and talking to a lot of API from just single scripting file, as I showed you before, or testing or using WebSocket from just the JDK without using third-party library. Definitely, it supports HTTP 1 and HTTP 2, WebSocket latest version, the full API, security, everything. It contains everything. As I told you, since JDK 9, it was an incubator module, and it moves into phases. And in JDK 11, it's almost become stable and goes for its own module name, java.net.http, and then it only has 4 interfaces, which does everything for you: HTTP client, HTTP request, HTTP response, and the WebSocket. And if you'd like to make use of it, it's very easy to have it. If you'd like to create a request, you create a client from HTTP client. From HTTP request, you build your request, and then you can send sync or async. So it works parallel and work synchronously and asynchronously. That's it. It's very easy to create, very easy to use, very easy to consume, and it supports all the features of HTTP and HTTP2. So it's so fast. Read about it. And for WebSocket, same modules. We just, you know, that we have to implement all the functions for WebSocket, and only you need to do is to create from HTTP client and a new WebSocket. You use WS or WSS for Web Secure Socket or WebSocket, and then you hook with executor because we need like mini executor to have it, and then you just start implementing your sending messages, and that's what you are going to do to see what's happening in the WebSocket talks. Nice. Who remember this old switch statement? Time is running. So we had this case, and it was ugly and very long, and we would like to enhance it. So the new switch statement becomes like something like this. Did you see this? This is how we enable preview feature. If you are using Java 12, you have to write it like JShell with enable preview features. So it's allow for you to use all the preview features that you have in your Java version. Then all of this snippet is written inside JShell. So I'm using JShell almost. So we can use it like this. Now, I just reduced this version with breaks and fail through, because if you forget one break, you will have fail through and you have a compilation until you realize that you forget one of the break statement. This is why it's never compute 4, it will be evaluated to 5. It's ugly because this concept is taken from C++. So as I told you, we have reduced, so you can use arrow token now, and you don't have to use break. So whenever it fail into any of these cases, it will return immediately. And this is the new switch statement. What if I would like to enhance it more with switch expression? Expression means I can assign the return into a variable. So we can use it like this. Instead of creating a variable here, string Roman value, and I have to return it, and okay, we can do it like this, just return the switch. And you don't have even to assign, so you can say something like case 0, just return. This means return nolla 1, 2, 3, which is Latin, Roman for us. That's very nice. So this is bring more powerful. So let's see more example. So what if I have different branches like this? Before we can do this, case 1, 2, 3, it's 0. And then in case of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, it's odd. And the other numbers are even. And this is very long, so we can write it now like this. Just commas, and that's it. It's very compact, it's very powerful and nice. Yep, for more, you can find this article. So also, because we had a lot of something like this, or one feature that we have, this is okay, but what about this one? So you can write the previous one, and we can say break 0. Break 0, like, it doesn't make sense here because it doesn't have a meaning. It doesn't give the meaning of what is break 0. It should be, okay, in case 0, yield. This was the feedback from the community. And based on the feedback, we have a switch expression. It goes in 2 phases, preview feature. And based on the preview feature, in Java 13, we decided to remove break and put yield. So it does make more sense and readable, more readable code. So in case there yield 0, in case this yield odd, it's not break odd. So this is, did you see why preview feature is very great and powerful? Because based on your community, we have changed it. We didn't get any more feedback. Everyone is really happy with switch after this. And then in Java 14, we standardized the switch expression. So you have it without flag preview feature. Awesome, right? Nice. Let's move on. We had a text block in Java 13, and it goes into many discussion. And text block second preview happens Java 14, and finally text block comes as a final feature in Java 15. And this is all the JIPs involved to introduce Java text block. And simply stating, if I have boilerplate code or the people writing JavaScript inside or polyglot languages, or definitely SQL statements, very long, and they need it in some specific indentation and nice, clean. This is very odd and very hard to read. Now you can write it like this. Amazing. So pattern matching. This is very nice reduction for the code. So we previously, all days, if you would like to check about instance, then we have to check about is this is instance of string. You'll find this mainly in equal methods. And then in order to make use of it, if it's instance, you have to cast it to its base class, then you start using it in your code. So why we have it? We can use it like this now since Java 14. Object instance of string. String, it's like its evaluation. If it's okay, it will be casted into string, and you can directly remove this casting line and just using it, and it will be evaluated immediately. So also more complex, you can just inside the if statement, you can make the test. If the test is successful, object is the instance of string, then assign this to a string variable of type instance, did the casting, and then I can even test more about this string inside using or using and. So it's more even powerful and used inside because once you have the cast here and pattern matching here, the scope will be definitely on or inside this if statement and beyond. Great feature. So records, long waiting feature. It's very important for people who love to deal with immutable classes. And we have records, and this is give us a lot of boilerplate code written for us without. It's like Lombok, for example. If we are famously using Lombok to reduce the code, just we annotate it, and now you don't have to do this. You just have a record. And you don't have to write accessors, getters, setters, constructor, equal, hash code, toString in order to make your class beautiful and does its job. So now, if I have this boilerplate, this class points, and I have to make it public final, then I have to instantiate it here. I have to have instances, all the other methods nicely. With record, I will have all of this in single line like this. That's it. So where are the other methods? So this is the declaration. Yep, you have record, point, public record point, int x, int y. That's it. Start creating a new instance of this record and using it. Very easy, right? Nice. Another feature that I like, it's dealing enhancement when it reports the problems. Like when you have a null pointer exception, for example, in thread before we have a.i, you will have this. We have null pointer exception. Where this exception happened in line 5? Okay, which part? Especially if we have something complex like this. So we don't know either B, C, I, or A. A, B, C. Any of which of these are evaluating to null? So you can enable the flag, and in Java, starting from 14, you could have the problem like this. We have null pointer exception cannot read field C because A.B is null, and the problem is in line 5. It's more obvious and give you more explanation about where the problem is. Sealed classes, this is lovely. One for controlling the inheritance, controlling the things. So sealed classes comes in many declarations. So you can have sealed class, and if you are implementing, you allow only implementing this class or this class only allow it for these classes, and this is the way that you can use it. So any other classes can make extension from this because you permitted this only for this subclass. It's very nice to have more object-oriented encapsulation and access and authoring. Nice. Unfortunately, it's not suitable for 45 minutes, as I can see, but you can find this presentation on GitHub, and because we are running off time, but what is next is that we have everything with code, so it's easy to read. We have a lot of bunch of features that included in string class, and here you can find in which version of Java is this introduced. So we have repeat, we have is blank, it's very important. that you have it directly without making all of these checks. And you have Stripe, it's the same like Trim, but it's the most important that Stripe is Unicode aware, which is something like this. Trim cannot recognize it because this is Unicode space, but Stripe can recognize it. So, and also lines from streams, it could be for each, it can use it with string, it will be streamed for you. Many more features, transformation happens here. You can do a lot of transformation in one line on your string. You can read about all of this here for more explanation. These functions comes with text block, and it's very important. Text block continue to be previewed, so you can use it, and it's very important here. You can do compact number formatting for your finance and money now. It's easy to have something like this. If you'd like to style this, you don't have to do it a custom or use third party. You can have the result quickly by using string compact number formatter class. This is very lovely. And you can use teeing a class function of collectors to combine two collectors at the same time to do some operation on these. This is very nice also addition. And also you can compare binary file finally inside JVM, the GDK without any third-party implementation or yours to read the file and everything. Just do this, and two files, they will be binary compared and give you the result when the first difference has been found. So we did a lot of implementation for communication sockets, a lot of things because of in favor of the project Loom, which introduced virtual implementation. So this is changes we do in order to be easy catch up with Project Loom when it's finally did. There is some security improvement, especially in JVM space, garbage collector. So I will leave this for you. Finally, this is the last part to talk about. So you have to read about it, which is about the farewell of the API and which tools that we have removed. JavaFX is removed to different parts. JavaFX JDK, OpenJFX, so it's not part of JDK anymore. So don't look to it. Remove tools. All of these tools removed, and we don't have engines or some specific tools. You can use GraalVM. So GraalVM is out there to include everything, and you have a lot of open source tool like micro benchmarking, so you can use it to evaluate your application algorithms. Finally, Visual VM for monitoring your application troubleshooting, and lastly, Flight Recorder. It's open source. All of these open source, you can use it without any commercial flag as before with Oracle JDK. So thank you very much for your attendance for this presentation. I'm so sorry, it's big, and unfortunately we are running out of time, but you can, as I told you, at any time you can I will stop sharing, you can have me, and go to my Twitter handler, ask me about any questions. You have my GitHub, all of these code, it's out there on GitHub. Thank you very much, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you for having me, and thanks for making it somehow very long to you.
No, hi, Mohamed. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I had to interrupt you, but trust me, your slides were amazing, and your talk was really, really great. Indeed, I was wondering if I wanted to ask you about your slides, but you just shared that it's on.
Yes. Yep, I can. Yeah. I think that this is in chat area that we have it, right? If I share it, it will be shared with all the people,
yes.
Right?
If you share it on the chat, the slide shared, everybody will see it. So that's.
So here it is. Enter. I think that you can see it now.
Yes, I can see it now. Awesome.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much, Mohamed.
It's my pleasure.
It's our pleasure. Trust me, it was an amazing talk. I have a couple of questions, and being honest with you, are my questions.
Yes.
But let's better give the chance of the crowd. So they are asking, what book would you recommend to study deeply Java 15? So any book, Java 15?
The Java 15, I didn't see any books yet start releasing, but now it's very easy to follow. I can send you the link, OpenJDK JIP release. You can go to JDK 15, for example. Just go to the JIPs, read about the enhancement, and also we do some like video training. There is Malagupta, for example, speaking about Java 15, because it's not about the language. The language goes the same, but I would like just to show you what is the new features, so you are aware what is the new features along with the others. So, and there's some authors, and sometimes we write about the features because it's now easier. We don't have to have books. It's compact features. We can write about it so that you know about it.
Great. Thank you. And I have a couple of questions about JLink and JShell, but probably we can follow up that on Twitter and on your Twitter account and on Slack.
Yes,
thank you.
And also all the code. I would like the presentation code, handwritten code, all the article codes. It's on my GitHub. Even I use this features to show the people in microservices-based Spring Boot application on Kubernetes and all these Dockerized inside, how to use GDK, GVM, garbage collector, all of this for free in my GitHub application. So how can you use the features latest in GDK with your Spring Boot applications running on cloud native environment? Using Dockerization, your Kubernetes, all of this on my GitHub applications. So feel free to fork, follow, comment, OpenBR. I love this because we are going to share your thoughts also.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you're doing. It's amazing.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mohamed. I will keep in touch on Slack. And GitHub.
Any questions, send it to me, and I will answer them and send you back. So you can share it with the attendees.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for you. Have a very great, nice day with the awesome speakers. And good night for me. Have a nice evening for you.
Good night. Have a good night. Take some rest.
Bye-bye.
Muy bien, chicos. Pues bueno, vamos a empezar nuestro break. Continuaremos con las charlas a partir de las 14:20. Por favor, no se despeguen. Váyanse a echar un taquito, un café. Les debemos los tacos este año. El próximo va a haber ración doble. No me hagan caso, la verdad es que no tengo idea. Pero no se despeguen de la transmisión. Seguiremos informándoles cómo va todo esto, que hasta ahorita va bastante bien.